Humans smiled after their skeletons should have collapsed. That was the first impossible thing I recorded. Not the strength, not the endurance, the smile. Every law of biological preservation said pain reduced combat efficiency. Pain demanded retreat. Pain forced surrender. Humans smiled. I believed it was a defect. I was wrong. I belonged to the Cadet collective. We were engineered for precision. Every heartbeat, every muscle twitch, every chemical reaction, everything calculated, nothing wasted. The Galactic War Academy was built for species like us. Predictable, logical, efficient. Then humanity arrived. Only one cadet came. One. His file listed him as Elias Carter. Average height, average mass, no genetic enhancements, no military implants, no adaptive exoskeleton. I assumed the records were incomplete. No civilization sent an average specimen to represent its world. That was my first mistake. The Academy floated above the dead moon of Orkin. Gravity shifted every hour. Air composition changed without warning. Entire hallways reconfigured themselves. Cadets failed daily. Some disappeared forever. The instructors called it education. We called it survival. The first trial involved lifting compressed neutron alloy cylinders. Each cylinder weighed differently depending on local gravity. No species knew the exact value. That uncertainty was intentional. Strength meant nothing without calculation. Our instructors loved saying that. I believed them, until the human walked forward. The cylinder assigned to my squad crushed 3 trainees before anyone touched it. One fractured both shoulder membranes. Another ruptured his circulation sacs. The third simply refused to continue. Reasonable. Living was preferable to proving courage. The instructors nodded with approval. Correct decision. Conserve resources. Preserve future value. That was Academy doctrine. The human frowned. Not in fear. In disappointment. At first I assumed he pitted the damaged equipment. Humans often stared at broken things. Perhaps they worshipped machinery. That seemed logical. Then he asked one question. Whose turn is it? No one answered. Retreat had already been calculated. Failure was acceptable. Death was inefficient. He stepped closer anyway. No tactical discussion. No analysis. No probability calculations. Primitive. He bent his knees. Wrapped one hand beneath the cylinder. One hand. I recorded the gesture for evidence. No intelligent organism ignored leverage. Then he lifted it. Not slowly. Not barely. He simply stood up. The cylinder rose with him. The training chamber became silent. Even the automated drones paused. My translator malfunctioned. It displayed impossible measurements. I recalibrated it 3 times. Same result. The human balanced the cylinder against one shoulder. His breathing increased. His heartbeat accelerated. Sweat appeared across his skin. Signs of imminent muscular failure. I relaxed. Reality was correcting itself. Then, he smiled. Exactly as the reports described. That smile disturbed me more than the lift. Pain indicators continued rising. He should have released the weight. Instead, he carried it across the chamber. Step, step, step. Each movement slower. Each heartbeat louder. Each breath rougher. Still smiling. He placed the cylinder onto its platform. Only then did his arm begin shaking. I reached my conclusion immediately. Delayed nervous failure. Humans simply malfunctioned after physical exertion. Primitive biology. Interesting. Harmless. That was my second mistake. The Academy exploded into rumors. Every species invented explanations. Hidden gravity manipulation. Illegal implants. Artificial muscles. Forbidden technology. No one accepted the obvious answer. The human had actually done it. The instructors refused to comment. Their silence created more fear. Fear always multiplied inside unanswered questions. Our next examination came 2 cycles later. Obstacle ascent. Vertical wall. 600 meters. No climbing tools. Only natural anatomy. Easy for winged species. Simple for adhesive species. Nearly impossible for everyone else. Humans lack both. I expected entertainment. Instead, Elias removed his gloves. He stared upward, then began climbing. His fingers searched tiny cracks invisible to my vision. His boots slipped repeatedly. Gravity shifted twice. Rock fragments collapsed beneath him. He continued. Every logical decision suggested climbing down. He climbed faster. I had documented another pattern. Humans accelerated when conditions worsened. Ridiculous. Surely panic distorted their judgment. That explanation satisfied me. Halfway up, another cadet lost grip. A Varnak, heavy-bodied, for arms, superior climbing anatomy. He fell. The academy never interrupted examinations. Failure remained educational. Everyone watched. No one moved, including me. Helping another cadet reduced personal ranking. Only irrational species ignored competition. The human stopped climbing. I concluded exhaustion finally defeated him. Again, wrong. He pushed away from the wall. Actually jumped toward the falling Varnak. My entire nervous system froze. No survival instinct supported that action. They collided. Momentum spun both bodies through open air. Impossible. The human twisted mid-fall, wrapped one arm around the Varnak. The other hand caught a narrow rock ledge. One hand. Again, his shoulder made a sound unlike any healthy joint. Something tore. I heard it from 80 meters below. His face tightened. Pain. Finally. Now he would release. Any rational organism would. Instead, he pulled, centimeter by centimeter, dragging not only himself, dragging another cadet. Twice his mass. Gravity shifted again. Higher. Harder. His injured arm trembled violently. Blood ran down the stone. Humans leaked alarming quantities of blood. Surely this one had reached fatal limits. Still, he climbed. When both reached stable ground, the Varnak collapsed. The human laughed. Laughed. A catastrophic injury. I searched every known medical archive. No species laughed while approaching structural failure. The behavior made no evolutionary sense. The instructors finally spoke. Only one sentence. Continue the examination. The human obeyed, as if nothing unusual had happened. That frightened me. Injury should dominate thought. Humans ignored it. Later, inside the medical chamber, I secretly observed him. His shoulder had partially dislocated. Ligaments torn. Microfractures across the arm. The physician ordered immediate rest. The human nodded politely. I believe compliance had begun. Minutes later, he walked into the cafeteria carrying 2 food trays. One for himself, one for the Varnak he had rescued. I constructed another theory. Humans exchanged resources to establish future debt. Simple economics. Reasonable. The Varnak thanked him. The human shrugged. You would have done the same. The Varnak lowered all 4 eyes. No, only one word. Quiet. Honest. The human seemed confused. I was confused for an entirely different reason. If repayment was not expected, why help? My processors searched for hidden motives. Political influence. Social manipulation. Mate selection. Territorial dominance. None fit. Every answer produced contradictions. Humans behaved according to invisible mathematics. The Academy loved certainty. The human produced only questions. Then came the endurance march. 50 kilometers. Toxic atmosphere. Variable gravity. Limited oxygen. Each cadet received survival packs calculated for individual biology. Precision. Efficiency. Fairness. Halfway through the march, an explosion shattered the canyon ahead. A bridge disappeared. Communication towers failed. Emergency drones stopped responding. The instructors vanished from every sensor. For the first time since enrollment, the Academy lost control. Cadets panicked. Some fled. Some froze. Some began fighting over oxygen reserves. I remained still, waiting for instructions. Instructions never came. Then I looked toward the human. He was not checking his own supplies. He was counting everyone else. At first I assumed he sought the weakest targets. Predators often hunted injured prey. That explanation comforted me. Then he removed his own oxygen tank and handed it to someone who could not survive without it. I concluded the human had chosen suicide. There was no other explanation. No species discarded its own oxygen. Not willingly. Not for a stranger. The trembling cadet accepted the tank with both hands. His breathing steadied. The human simply tightened the straps on his own suit. No reserve, no backup, just confidence. I marked him as deceased. That was my greatest mistake. The canyon air clawed through exposed flesh. Its chemistry dissolved soft tissue. Even my sealed mask reported contamination. The human wrapped a strip of fabric across the damaged seal of his helmet. Fabric, not technology. Fabric. Impossible. He inhaled once, coughed, then waved us forward. Move. No speech about courage. No dramatic promises. Just one word. Move. No one obeyed. We waited for instructors. For drones. For rescue. Humans, I believed, also waited for authority. The human shattered that pattern. He walked first, straight into poisonous air. Every logical prediction said he would collapse within seconds. 5 seconds. 10. 30. 1 minute. He was still moving. His steps slowed. His shoulders sagged. But he never stopped. I realized something terrifying. The human never waited to know if survival was possible. He moved first. He discovered the answer later. We followed, not because we trusted him, because standing still was becoming worse. The canyon twisted like a living creature. Gravity pulsed. Loose stone floated upward before crashing back down. Every few minutes, another explosion echoed somewhere beyond the cliffs. The academy had become silent. Too silent. Silence frightened predators. It frightened me more. Then we found the first instructor, or what remained of one. His armored body lay beneath collapsed rock. One leg trapped, 2 arms crushed, his breathing weak. The instructor was a Drax. 800 kilograms. Too heavy. Every cadet understood the equation instantly. Leave him. Continue. Survive. The human knelt. Of course he did. I almost laughed. Even his impossible strength had limits. The rock alone outweighed him several times over. He examined the debris, touched the stone, looked around, smiled. Again, always the smile. I hated that smile. It meant reality was about to become uncertain. He pointed toward a fallen support beam. Help me. No one moved. Helping guaranteed failure. The instructor himself spoke. Leave me. Correct. Efficient. Logical. The human ignored him. Naturally. We watched as he shoved the beam beneath the slab. A lever. Primitive. I dismissed it immediately. The stone did not move. I relaxed. Physics had returned. Then the human shouted. Now! The Varnak stepped forward. Then another cadet. Then another. Without discussion. Without orders. More joined. I stared in disbelief. The human had infected them. Not with disease. With intention. Together they pushed. The slab shifted. Only a fraction. Enough. The instructor dragged himself free. No one celebrated. The human simply kept walking, as though saving impossible lives had become routine. That frightened me more than any monster. Hours passed. Our numbers shrank. Some succumbed to toxins. Some vanished into collapsing tunnels. Every loss made the human quieter. Not colder. Quieter. I misread that too. I believed silence meant surrender. Instead, it meant focus. Night descended, or what passed for night on Orkin. The moon's fractured rings blocked every nearby star. Darkness swallowed the canyon. Our thermal scanners failed. Motion detectors glitched. Then we heard it. Footsteps. Not ours. Heavy. Deliberate. Closing. Predators. Academy bioweapons. Creatures released only during final examinations. Except, this wasn't the final examination. Someone had lost containment. The first beast emerged between the rocks. 6 legs. No eyes. Its mouth opened sideways. Heat poured from its throat. The Varnak fired an emergency flare. The creature ignored the light. It charged. Everything dissolved into chaos. Cadets scattered. I climbed the nearest ridge. Higher ground increased survival probability by 43%. Correct decision. Efficient decision. Cowardly decision. The human did the opposite. He ran toward the beast. Of course he did. He carried no weapon. Only the broken metal support beam from earlier. Improvised. Primitive. Hopeless. The creature struck. The beam intercepted its jaws. Metal screamed. The impact threw the human backward. He rolled. Rose immediately. Blood covered one side of his face. He smiled. Again. The monster lunged. The human waited. Too long. Far too long. Then he stepped inside its attack. Not away. Inside. He drove the beam into the creature's open throat. The beast collapsed. Its body convulsed. Silence. I believed it was over. Then 3 more appeared. The human looked at them, then looked behind him. At us. His expression changed. No smile. No fear. Only calculation. Finally, a sensible emotion. He shouted one sentence. Run to the ridge. We obeyed instantly. Not because he ordered us. Because his voice carried absolute certainty. He charged the creatures alone. Alone. No species fought impossible odds voluntarily. No sane species. The canyon erupted. Stone exploded. Dust consumed everything. Roars echoed endlessly. We reached the ridge. I turned back. The human was gone. Buried. Dead. The creatures disappeared beneath the collapse as well. Silence returned. No one spoke. The Varnak lowered his head. He bought us time. Bought. Another strange human concept. As if time possessed value greater than life. We continued walking. No one wanted to, but stopping meant dying. Hours later, rescue craft finally arrived. Emergency teams secured survivors. The Academy commander questioned each cadet. His final question was identical every time. Where is the human? No one answered. Because no one knew. Recovery drones searched the canyon for 12 continuous hours. Nothing. The commander declared him missing. Probability of survival. 0. I accepted that conclusion. For exactly 17 minutes. Then every emergency alarm aboard the rescue cruiser activated. Hangar doors opened automatically. Something approached through vacuum. Not a shuttle. Not an escape pod. A figure. Walking. Across open space. Impossible. Humans could not survive vacuum. No species could. The cameras zoomed closer. It was Elias. His suit had ruptured completely. His helmet was gone. Frost covered his skin. Blood had frozen across his face. One arm hung uselessly at his side. Behind him walked the missing rescue team. Every single one. He had found them first. The hangar repressurized. Medical crews rushed forward. The human finally collapsed. His first words were barely audible. Did everyone make it? Not. Am I alive? Not. Am I hurt? Everyone. The doctors surrounded him. His heart stopped. Flatline. I looked away. Death had finally claimed him. Even humans had limits. Then, the monitor screamed. One heartbeat. Then another. Then another. His heart restarted. By itself. The physicians froze. One whispered quietly. Impossible. For the first time, the galaxy used that word about humans instead of humans using it about the galaxy. Months later, I studied every recording again. Every smile. Every injury. Every impossible decision. I finally understood the pattern I had missed from the beginning. Humans did not ignore pain. They negotiated with it. They did not defeat fear. They carried it. They did not survive because they were stronger than death. They survived because somewhere deep inside them, there was always one last impossible thing still willing to stand up. Humans smiled after their skeletons should have collapsed, because sometimes even death had to wait for permission. If you enjoyed this HFY story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more epic human versus galaxy adventures. And tell us in the comments, which moment proved to you that humanity is truly unstoppable?